Okay, peace be upon you. Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to correct the diagnostic evaluation. Okay, as we have said that this test or the aim or the objective behind correcting it is to see our weaknesses, okay, and our strength. So of course we are going to work on our weaknesses in order to improve our level, especially the basic things in English. Okay, good. Okay, we have got a text. Yeah, it is related to the last year. Yes, one of the units. So as you can see here in the text, how many paragraphs do you have in the text? So we have three paragraphs in the text. So your diagnostic test or evaluation consists mainly of questions which are related to comprehension in order to test your comprehension. Yes, to what extent you are able to analyze, to explain, to elaborate, and so on. And then we have another part which is for grammar, and then another part which is for written expression. Okay, it is a simple one. Yes, good. Okay, let's start. Let's start with the first question. Choose the best title for the text. Okay, again, in order to to inform you or to keep in your mind, what you have to keep in your mind is that the more you read the text, the more you understand it. Okay, good. Okay, choose the best title for the text. So the best title for the text you choose. So the best title for the text is good. Okay, we have got here three choices: our red planet, our blue planet, our white planet. So which one goes with the text? Which one is appropriate to the text? Yeah, good. As you can see here, which most of you students, they have answered this question correctly. So the best title for the text is our blue planet. Good. Of course, always you try to, you have to justify your answer from the text. Okay, when you answer a question, try always to justify your answer from the text. Good. Let's go back to the text. Okay, most human beings seem to be quite unaware that the small blue planet. Okay, so we are talking about our planet. We are talking about the Earth. Okay, so our blue planet. So this is the best title for the text. Okay, you have got here half a point for the answer. Okay, good. Now let's move on to the second question. Say whether these statements are true or false according to the text. So true or false? True or false? Okay, we have A, B, C, and D. A, B, C, and D. Okay, A, B, C, D. Okay, the first one, A. People are interested in protecting the environment. Is this statement true or false? Of course, according to the text. Okay, we have always to go back to the text. Most of you students, they think that true or false, true or false according to their comprehension? No, this is not true. Okay, of course, according to the text. Yeah, good. People are interested in protecting the environment. Yes, is this statement true or false? People, they are protecting. They are, they are doing good things or good actions to their environment. Okay, so is this statement true or false? So this is false. Let's go back to the text in order to justify our answer. So as we have in the text, most human beings seem to be quite unaware that the small blue planet on which we live in is very fragile. Despite warning, we continue to inflict irreversible damage on it. So we continue to damage it, which means we are not protected. Okay, people, they are inflicting irreversible damage on the earth, on their planet, which means they are not protecting it. They are not interested in protecting the environment. So this is false. B, the atmosphere is no more clean. The atmosphere, yes, the atmosphere we are living in, yeah, is no more clean. It is dirty. Yeah, is it true or false? Yes, this is true. Yeah, an evidence from the text we have the atmosphere, our water resources, the soil, even our food, are all contaminated largely as a result of our own actions. Good. They are all contaminated. Contaminated means polluted. Okay. Contamination, it is a synonym of pollution. We say pollution or contamination. Okay. So they are all contaminated. They are polluted. So the atmosphere is no more clean. This is true. Yeah, so let's try this. C, climatic changes are caused by water pollution. Good. When we say the change of climate, the change of the atmosphere, the change of, we are talking about which type of pollution? Are we talking about water pollution, about earth pollution, about air pollution? Which one? Good. So here we cannot say water pollution. Okay, water pollution maybe when we talk about the sea, okay, rivers, seas, and so on. But here we are not talking about water, something which is related to the sea, to the water, but we are talking about something which is related to the atmosphere, to the climate. So which pollution, which type of pollution goes with the climatic change? It is the air pollution. It's not water pollution, though this is false. Okay, so from the text, yes, once the atmosphere was pure, now the quantity of polluting gases emitted into the atmosphere and so on till the end of the text. So we have the greenhouse effect, the gap in the ozone layer, climatic change, the rise in the sea level, and so on. So you have climatic change. We have at the beginning of the paragraph the atmosphere was pure, so which means we are talking about the atmosphere, are talking about air pollution. Okay, so this is false. Good. The last one, the destruction of the environment is due to the man's carelessness. Okay, so the destruction of the environment, destruction means something which is negative. Okay, this destruction, okay, destroy it, okay, the destroyed environment. Okay, destruction is due to the man's carelessness. Yes, this is true. We have got carelessness. Okay, as you can see in English, less means without, okay? Careless means without care, okay? Yes, this is true. I mean, the environment is, or it is damaged because of man carelessness. This is true, okay? They neglect the environment, okay? They don't care about the environment. They throw the rubbish everywhere and so on, okay? So this is true. So false, true, false, true. Okay, a quarter for each answer. Out of 1. Okay, now let's move on to the third one. Okay, what do the underlined words refer to in the text? So word reference. We have A, it, in paragraph number 1. And then we have them in paragraph number 3. So what do the underlined words refer to the text? We have got, the similar question in Arabic and in French, okay? إلى ماذا ترجع الضمائر and so on, and in French à qui ou à quoi renvoie-t-il les mots, okay? So this, this question, it is included, in all, mainly in all subjects, okay? So you have to train on answering those questions. Good. It's in the first paragraph. Despite warning, we continue to inflict irreversible damage on it. Of course, when you, this kind of questions, you have to read what is before it, okay? What do the underlined words refer to? Which means we are going to mention something at the beginning, and then if we are going to talk about it again, we are not going to use the same noun, okay, in order to avoid repetition. We are going to replace it by a pronoun, okay? So if I ask you what do the pronoun or what do the underlined words refer to, are going to go back, okay, to see what comes or what is before, what precedes the underlined words. Is it clear? Good. Okay, the small blue, okay, it refers to, we have most human beings seem to be quite unaware that the small blue planet on which we live is very fragile. Despite warning, we continue to inflict irreversible damage on it. On the blue or the small blue planet, it refers to small blue planet, okay? So small good. This is A. B. Them. We have them in the last paragraph. Once the atmosphere was pure, now the quantity of polluting gases emitted into the atmosphere exceeds nature's capacity to absorb them. Yeah? So them refers to what? Good. What you have to keep in your mind, some students, they make or they put, a singular noun, singular. Okay, you cannot hear when you say them, it means we are talking about something which is in the plural form. So we are not talking about the singular, we are talking about the plural form. Suppose you don't understand, you don't get, the meaning of them, but you may, increase your chance to answer the question correctly by looking, you have to analyze only the words which are in plural. okay, in the plural form. So here we are referring to what? We are referring to gases, okay? We have once the atmosphere was pure, now the quantity of polluting gases emitted into the atmosphere exceeds nature's capacity to absorb them, to absorb the polluting gases, okay? Absorb, okay? Does this mean absorb? Absorb means to take something gradually, okay? It's like, for instance, in the trees, for instance, you have got the trees. If you supply, when you water the trees, okay, you supply it with water, the soil, yeah, in the tree, the soil around the tree absorbs water, okay? Absorbs, to take it gradually. Okay, good. So, them refers to polluting gases, okay? So this is half point, and this is out of 1. Now let's move on to the first one, rewriting the sentences differently, okay? Rewriting the sentences differently. So this question is related to grammar, okay? It is related to grammar. Okay, the first statement. Okay, we have rewrite sentence B so that it means the same as sentence A. You rewrite means you write again sentence B. Yes, of course here we have got, I mean, there is a condition. You may change the form. Yeah, you change the form of the sentence, but you have to keep the meaning. Is it clear? This is the meaning of rewriting the sentences. If we express it in another way, okay? Good. We create deserts and flats. This is sentence number 1. Good. We are going to write this sentence A, differently, starting with deserts and flats. So deserts and flats. Deserts and flats. So here we have, if you want, I mean, to divide this sentence into parts of speech, yes, we have we, which is the subject, create is the verb, deserts and flats is the object. Good. Here, I mean, in the beginning of the sentence B, we have started from desert and flat, which means you have started from the object. What does it mean? Means here I'm asking you, yeah, or I want you to change this sentence from active to passive. You have studied active and passive last year, okay? So which means you change, you turn, or you transform this sentence from active to passive. Good. So what are you going to say here? Desert and flats. So where is the verb here? The verb is create. In which tense is conjugated? It is conjugated in the present simple. So here we have desert and flats. So as you have seen or you have studied, when we turn a sentence from active to passive, we start from the object, means the object of the active voice becomes the subject of the passive, and then in the verb we should include, or we should use the auxiliary to be. In which tense? according to the tense of the verb in the active voice. So here, create, it is in which tense is conjugated? It is in the present simple, means we are going to conjugate the auxiliary to be in the present, okay? So what are you going to say? Desert and flats. Here, of course, you have to pay attention to subject-verb agreement. If we have a singular, the singular subject, we put is. If it is plural, it's like the case here, we should conjugate the auxiliary to be in the plural form, okay? So desert and flats are not is, okay? Are the auxiliary to be in the present, plus what? Plus the past participle of the verb. Good. Create, this is the main verb, create. Okay, create becomes in the passive, becomes the past participle. Okay, how do we form the past participle? Most of the times we have, some exceptions, but most of the times we form the past participle by adding ed to the verb. Since create, it is a regular verb, so we add to it ed in order to get what do we call past participle. So create, created, okay, are created, and then by plus subject or the agent here, plus, so here we cannot say we, okay, we cannot say by we, okay. Here we have to use the personal pronoun object, not subject. Okay, we and us, actually they are the same, but we use we with the subject when it is in the subject, when it is a subject, but we use us when it is an object. This is why they are called personal pronouns objects, okay? So by us, it's not by we, okay? Some of the students, they answered by we, but we say by us, not by we. Good. Okay, the second one. So here A, B, here to B. Good. In the second one, you have water mustn't be wasted. Water must not be wasted. Good. Again, here we have passive with modals. Okay. We have seen. We have studied them. You studied them last year. Okay. Passive with modals, passive with some tenses, and so on. Good. We have must, which is a modal, okay? So water mustn't be wasted. So we start respectively by, we start with we. We. So what can you say here? So here, in the first example, yes, we have turned this sentence from active to the passive. But here, the second one, it is the vice versa, as you have seen, okay? Here means you turn a sentence from passive to active, okay? Good. So water mustn't be wasted. So we say we plus modal, which is must not. We must not, or we mustn't, the same, okay? We mustn't. Okay, wasted in the first, in sentence A, it is a past participle. Here it becomes a stem, okay, a verb or the infinitive without to. Must not waste, okay, you say must not waste water, okay, the subject and the passive becomes the object in the active, okay? So we must not waste water, full stop. Yeah? Good. I hope that, it's clear so far. So B, Or the third one, nuclear weapons have been used twice by the USA. Good, we start from the USA. Good, again here we have got a sentence from passive to active, okay? Good, the USA, what can we say here? Here we have been used. So here, in which tense the verb is conjugated? It is in the present perfect, yeah, present perfect passive. So we turn it to the present perfect active. Good, so what are you going to say? As you can, or as you know that we form the present perfect by using the auxiliary to have in the present simple, have or has, plus the past participle of the verb. So the USA, yes, have in the present simple, plus the past participle. What is the past participle here? It is used. You have been, which is the auxiliary to have in the past, or the auxiliary to be, sorry, in the present perfect, and then use, it is the past participle, okay? So have, or the USA have used the present perfect, yeah, nuclear weapons twice. And the rest of the sentence, nuclear weapon twice, okay? We can omit it, you can omit twice, as we know that the most important things in the active and passive, you have to identify the verb, the subject, verb and object, okay? And the rest of the sentence, it is not important, okay? The most important things, we have got three elements. You have to identify the subject, the verb and the object, okay? Good, that's all, okay? Now each answer, it is out of 1, okay? It is out of 3. Now we move on to the fifth one. Put the following verbs in the correct tense. It is an exercise or an activity which is related to tenses, which are basic things, okay? You have in English to know, at least some tenses which are used, most of the time, okay? You have to know how, their grammatical form and their meaning, when do we use them, and so on, okay? Good. Okay, let's start with the first one. Okay, so put in the following verbs in the correct tense. Good. Okay, we have A, B, C, D, and so on. Okay, A, we have if I, and then we have the verb to pass between brackets. My exam successfully. I, between brackets, you have start and a person or apprenticeship, okay? Good. We have pass and starts, and we have if. As you know that this is a conditional sentence since we have if. Good. Okay, here we have to decide, okay, which condition are we going, or which type of condition we are going to use here. Is it conditional type 0, 1, 2, which one, okay? Good. As you can see here, if I pass my exam successfully, which means we are talking about passing the exams, okay? We are making here possibility. If I pass my exam, I start an apprenticeship. Okay, we are talking about something which we are predicting. We are making possibility. Okay, good. Here in the domain of possibility, we use conditional type 1 as you have seen. Okay, in the lessons. So in conditional type 1, we use the present simple in the if clause and the plural form in the main or the result clause. So if I pass, so most of the students, they have answered, I mean correctly this question. Okay, so if I pass, if I pass my exams and so on successfully, I will start, yes, the future. Okay, we use here the future since we are talking about something in the future. We are making a prediction or possibility. Okay, and so on. Good. B, of course, we are not going to write the whole sentences, just the verbs in order not to waste time. Okay. Okay, most of the not all the sentence, but okay, B, it is a small sentence, so I'm going to write it all. Okay, the sun, we have rise in the east. The sun, okay, outside, rise in the east. Okay, here we are talking about what? We are talking about something which is real. The sun, something which is real, rise in the east. Okay, so this is a general truth, a general fact. So we use here the present simple since we are talking about something which is real. Okay, so the sun rises. You pay attention to the s of the present. Okay, the s of it. Rises since the sun can be replaced, or we can replace it by it. Okay, we say it rises from the or in the east. Okay, rises in the east. C, we visit Greece or Greece, yes, next month. We are going to visit Greece or I don't know, Japan, China, one of the countries, yes, next month. When we say next month, next week, next year, we are talking about something in the future. So here we use the future simple. Yeah, so we will visit. We will visit Greece next. Okay, D, I finish my assignments, and we have just. Which tense are we going to use here? Yeah, and you have a gap, just, and then another gap, finish my assignment, my homework. Okay, so here since we have just, as we have as you know that just, it is a time clue, yeah, or time indicator. Just most of the time goes with the present, yeah, goes with the present perfect. I have just, I mean this is the near, I mean we use it here. It's like, for instance, if the teacher, for instance, gives you a homework or an activity to do it in the class, yes, when you finish, okay, you are going to say after 3 minutes, after 5 minutes, you are going to say, I have finished my teacher, I have finished my homework. Okay, so you have, it is a near, okay, near to the present situation, near to the present, I mean to the moment. Okay, so we use here the present perfect. Since we have just, it is a time clue. It goes most of the time with the present perfect. So I have, the present perfect, the auxiliary to have in the present plus the past participle. So I have just finished my assignment. Yeah, okay, A, B, C, D, E. Good. She lived in China before she went to Thailand, okay? She. So, which tense we are going to use here, or which, okay, she lived in China before she went to Thailand. Okay, in the, in the second part of the sentence, we have went. Went, in which tense is conjugated as, okay, as you know that went, okay, the infinitive of went is to go, okay, to go. We say went in the past, so it is in the past. And then we have before, means there is another action which happens before the action, before another action. We have got two actions, both of them, they occurred or happened in the past. But there is an action which precedes another one, which happened before another one. So here, the past, this is the first action. When we conjugate the verb, okay, we are not going to use the past, but we use another tense which is far, okay, more than the past simple, okay. So here we use the past perfect, okay. We use here the past perfect, and the past perfect, it's like the present perfect. There is only one difference between the past perfect and the present perfect, is the tense of the auxiliary to be, okay, auxiliary to have, sorry. To have, we conjugate it in the past. In the present perfect, we say have or has plus the past participle, whereas in the past perfect, we say had with all the pronouns plus the past participle of the verb. So she had lived. She had lived in China. Yeah. So on so on. Till Thailand. Okay. Till Thailand. F. I talk on the phone at this moment. I talk on the phone at this moment, now, at the moment of speaking. So which tense goes, with this? As you can see here, we use the present continuous or the present progressive, okay? Since an action, it is an ongoing action, okay? It is in progress. So I'm talking on the phone. It may take 15 minutes, 10 minutes, okay? But it is an ongoing action, okay? At the present, at the moment of speaking. I'm talking on the phone, okay? Now, at the moment of speaking. So here we use the present continuous, which is the auxiliary to be in the present plus verb plus ing, okay? So I'm talking, I'm talking on the phone at this moment, okay? So since we have at this moment, it is again a time clue or an indicator. It goes with the present progressive or the present continuous, okay? Good. Okay, D, E, F, G. Good. He read a book when the doorbell rang. Good. Here we have one, yes, and then we have rang, which is a verb in the past. Okay, here we have two actions. Okay, two actions. Suppose, imagine, suppose for instance you are, yes, at home. For instance, you are reading a book. For instance, you have started reading it. For instance, you have started reading it at 11 o'clock, let's say, and then at 11:30, after half an hour, someone or the doorbell, someone rang or in the doorbell, yes, or someone knocked in the door, let's say, yes. So there are two actions. Okay, you're reading, and then someone okay, or the doorbell rang. Okay, so which tense are you going to use here? Yeah, the doorbell rang when when he was reading a book, or he was reading a book when the doorbell rang. Okay, so here we use the past continuous. So he was reading a book when the doorbell rang. H, she borrowed books from the library yesterday. Again, yesterday, it is a time clue. Yes, means you are talking about the past, something in the past, and the verb is to borrow. Okay, means to give something to someone. Okay, so she borrowed books from the library yesterday. So here, since borrow, it is a regular verb, so we add to it an ed in order to form the past simple of it. Okay, so she borrowed books from the library yesterday. Okay, the last one. I do a lot of work every day. Okay, every day means here we are talking about a habit. For instance, every day I go to school on foot. Okay, I every day go to school on foot. Okay, something which is a habit, habitual action. So which tense goes with habit or with habitual action? It is the present simple, as you know. So I do not does. Some of the students say put okay does. This is not correct. You say I do not does. I do a lot of work every day. Yeah, number 6. Okay, before we move to number 6, okay, this is out of 2.5. Okay, out of 2.5 means a quarter for each verb. Okay, okay, number 6. Complete the sentences below expressing the following obligation, prohibition, or absence with obligation. So, obligation prohibition or absence of obligation. So A, B, and C. Good. Students cannot use their mobile phones. Okay, before that, you have studied, obligation. You know what is obligation? I've studied them, in the middle school and then in the first year. So normally you are familiar with those, those terms, okay? Obligation, something you are obliged to do it, okay? For instance, we as the teachers, we have to wear pinafores inside the class, yeah, so this is an obligation. For instance, we as Muslims, we have to fast in the month of Ramadan. This is an obligation, okay? We have not choice, okay? So this is an obligation. We have prohibition. Prohibition means something you are not allowed to do it. For instance, the cell phones. Let's say this is a cell phone, yeah? You cannot use the cell phones in the class. Students, they are not allowed to bring electronic devices in or to use them inside schools or class, okay? Good. Absence of obligation means something you are not obliged to do it, okay? For instance, you as a student, I cannot say that you have to come to school on Friday. Okay, you are not obliged to study on Friday. Yes, in Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so on. Yes, but in Friday, you are not obliged. You can come to the school, yeah. You may study on Friday, but you are not obliged. I cannot oblige you to study on Friday, okay? So you have to make difference between prohibitions and absence of obligation. Prohibition, you don't have a choice. You are not allowed to do it, okay? But absence of obligation means you can do it, but you are not obliged. Okay, this is the difference. Good. A, we have students cannot use their mobile phones inside classes. They turn them off. They have to turn them off. So, oh, sorry, I'm answering the question, so sorry. Okay, so they, here we have obligation. As you know that in order to express obligation, we use some grammatical forms or some expressions. We use have to, or must, or should, okay? Must, have to, should. Okay, some students, they have answered, they have used have to, it's correct, must, correct, should, correct. Okay, they are all forms used in order to express obligation, but the degree, of course, there is slight difference between them, between have to, should, and must, okay, in the degree of obligation. So they, okay, students and so on, they have to or they must. We may use must or have to or should. Plus what? Plus stem or plus verb without to, okay? Turn. Should turn them off. Turn them off. So this is obligation, okay? Good. B. Respect is needed. People impose themselves on the others. So here we use prohibition, means must not. There is only one form, okay? Must not is used in order to express prohibition, something you are not allowed to do it, okay? Respect is needed. People must not impose themselves on others, okay? Good. So this is must not. So people must not, or mustn't, okay, the same, must not impose themselves on others. And then we have differences are always tolerated. We agree with each other, okay? We are not obliged to agree with you, with each other, okay? We may have different, point of view, different opinions, so we are not obliged to agree with each other. So here we say don't have to. There is only one form. Yes, so we don't have to. We don't have to agree with each other. Okay, now the last question. Yes, what will you do if you pass your back exam? Yes, I have asked you to make at least 2 conditional sentences. Okay, 2 conditional sentences. Okay, what you have to keep in your mind is that there is a difference between the spoken form of the language and the written form. I may say, for instance, in a dialogue, someone asks me, for instance, what is your name? I'm going to say directly, my name is Said, for instance, or Said. I'm going to say Said or Basir directly. But in the written form, you cannot say Said directly, okay? You are going to say, my name is Said, which means you are going to make a meaningful sentence, subject, verb, and so on, okay? Because why I have said this, because some of the students, they have answered, I will go to the university, I will make a party directly. This is not correct, okay? You have to make meaningful sentences, conditional sentences. Or some of this, okay, the most important thing is this, in this question, is how to use, the verbs correctly, in the correct tense, okay? Some of the students, they use, in the if clause, they use the past. Some of them, they use the future, okay? Here, since we are talking about something may happen in the future, or we are making prediction, we are predicting, so here we use conditional type 1, okay? You, for instance, as a student, you are going to to do your back exam. So what will you do if you pass? Means if you get your back, if you succeed in your back, what are you going to do, okay? So if I pass my back, you are going to see this. So in the if clause, we use the present simple. And then in the main clause, we use the future. Since we are predicting, you may pass your back and you may not, okay? So we are predicting. So if here you are going to, to make your plan. What is your plan? Your contingency plan. Okay, so some of the students, they say, okay, if I pass my back exam, I don't know. Some of the students, I don't remember, your answers. But there is no logical way. The sentence, it can be correct in the form, but in the meaning it may not, okay? But the sentence should be, correct, or should be structured, correctly in the form and in the meaning. Yes? جملة لازم يكون عندها معنى, okay? Good. Yeah, so you may say, for instance, if I pass my back, I will study, for instance, or I will go to the university, I will study, I don't know, I will study astronomy. It depends on your plan, okay? So, if, so number 7, here we have positive results and negative result. Positive means if you get your back. Negative means if you fail, you don't get your, okay, positive and negative. So positive, you may say, for instance, if I pass, so the verb should be in present. If I pass my back, I'll or I will go to the university, for instance. Yeah? I will go to the university. Negative result. Negative result. You may say, for instance, if I don't pass my back, I will, for instance, you may say, I will join the vocational training institute, or what do we call VTI, okay, here some of I have I remember some answers. Some of you didn't have, if I don't pass my back, I will not go to the university. Okay, هذه باينة هذه. If you don't get your back, you will not go to university. But I'm talking about your plan. Okay, هذه باينة. استاذ كلمة الجملة صحيحة في الأفور. مي في المعنى مش صحيحة. Okay, if you don't pass your back, I'm not okay. I won't go to the university. هذه باينة. ولا ما ربحتش الباك ما تروحش الجامعة. هذه باينة. مي قلت لكم حاجه صادر تهضر على المخطط ولا التخطيط، واش راكي مخططه ديري صادر ولا ما ربحتيش الباك. اوكي so you are going to make sentences okay with meaning, okay, in order to reveal your plan. Good. If I, let's say for instance, if I don't pass my back exam, I'll join, yes, vocational training institute. I will join VTI. Okay, VTI means vocational training institution or vocational school. Okay, in order to be a builder, to be I don't know, you girls, I don't know what are your ambitions and so on. Is it clear? So the most important thing, as I have said in this exercise, is to know how to conjugate, how to make conditional sentence with appropriate or with the appropriate tense. Okay, here we are talking about conditional type 1. We are talking about our plan in the future, means we use conditional type 1, present in the if clause and future in the main or the result clause. Okay, I hope that the correction or my explanation can reach everyone. Yes, and that's all for today. Yes, if you have any questions, you may contact me, or you may write your questions in papers and you put it in the administration, or you may we use the means or the media in order to, but I don't know, but I think or I hope that we have answered all the questions, okay, with the sufficient explanation and so on. Okay, that's all for today.